Have you ever been in a scenario on Roller Coaster Tycoon where you're trying to build the perfect roller coaster and for whatever reason you just don't have any money? So you have to do that little dance where you like click and build and click and build and you hope that like something doesn't steal all your money? Yeah, we've all been there. So that's why I want to make this video, to help explain a few things about how you can make money, especially if you're trying to make oodles and oodles and oodles of money. Like so much money in Roller Coaster Tycoon, you wouldn't think it's possible. Also, the Wild Mouse I built actually had decent stats, so yay, what a Wild Mouse. Woo! Entrance price. The first thing you're going to want to do is charge for an entrance price if you're playing the original Roller Coaster Tycoon. In RC Tycoon 2, you can have cash machines, and this infinitely makes it better because guests basically can have infinite money. But the easiest way here is there's going to be 4 guests' prices of as far as how much money they start with. You need to pick the lowest so you don't turn anybody away. On Dynamite Dunes, that's going to be $40. But check with each scenario. You can either click on all the guests as they come in, figure it out yourself, or if you want to look it up online, by now, all that information is available to you. So as you can see there, I'm charging $40 for a guest, so some people will come in and have no money, other people will still have money they can spend in the park. Also, I have an information kiosk there, charge $20 for umbrella. When it rains, you'll make bank. Doing this strategy doesn't really matter too much if you're maximizing price as far as all of the rest of the roller coasters, but you can go ahead and look that up if you would like to try. Again, without a cash machine, there's really not that much more you can get from those guests. Looking at the soft guest cap, the soft guest cap is just how much each ride gives you as far as naturally creating guests. When you build roller coasters, obviously, they attract slightly more guests. Although an average flat ride is probably going to get you about 60 to 70 guests for your soft guest cap. Whereas a roller coaster is going to be more like 90 to 120. So there's really not too much advantage when you're just trying to maximize the amount of guests that will naturally spawn to your park for building roller coasters. This is why cheap, compact roller coasters, especially those with a high throughput, like many of these coasters seen here, are some of the best type of coasters as they allow guests to stay busy, as well as are a cheap way to increase that soft guest cap. But the problem is, guests will just keep coming to your park, and they'll stay in your park. So what you're going to want to do is have some death traps. As you can see, I have some raised land here where guests will naturally fall out into the disappearing abyss without hurting your park rating. This will lower the amount of guests in your park, but they already paid for the entry. So this way you can have your guests in your park well below your soft guest cap, so naturally guests will keep spawning and spawning and spawning, and then you also don't have to deal with actually having a really large park. If you're also trying to beat the scenario, which has a certain guest cap to it, then you also have to keep that in mind. But at least at first, you're going to be getting a lot of guests in your park. So you're going to be able to want to get rid of some so you can get even more money by having that guest entry fee. As you can see here in this screen, you can look at my finances. These are my finances here for this little park with a bunch of these Marcel Vos compact corkscrew coasters and a few other ones I've built just for funsies. As you can see, this is just the natural guest generation rate here on Dynamite Dunes. So I'm making looks like about $7,000 to $8,000 in park entry fees. So this is just naturally what we can do here with that. But with advertising, we're going to kick it up a notch. So when you go ahead and make all of the ads that you can, the free rides, free drinks, advertising for the park, advertising for a particular ride, it costs a lot. This is Open RC Tycoon, so I was able to just go ahead and do it for 12 months. That cost me $8,000, so with what I was naturally making on my park entry tickets, it was basically a wash there for the month of July. But now we can sit here and root on the money to go up. Money. In the months of August, September, and October. And what we're going to see is that advertising, although a strong initial investment, nearly doubled the amount of money that we were making simply in the park entry fees. We can also see that our other expenses and stuff went down because we were able to make a little bit more money on ride tickets and those types of things because we simply had a massive more amount of guests in the park. Also, here in March, it rained, so all of my umbrella sales went in there, so I have a nice about $2,000 boost from that. So, put those umbrellas at $20 if you're trying to maximize money, because it makes a significant difference. So, again, here you can look at that. Looks like we were making somewhere in the 18,000 range. So, again, the first month there was about a wash, but then we had about 3 months where we just made about $30,000 more. So probably about a $20,000 return for what we invested, if not a little bit more, because everything else went up. There are, of course, many different things that you can do on Roller Coaster Tycoon to try to maximize money. But if you can stick to those 4 principles, then you should do a pretty good job on any park. Especially if you're trying to do something just crazy or some type of challenge where you're just trying to make a bunch of money. So, that's it. I hope you enjoy this nice little park. I really like my little mini suspended coaster. Those are always my favorite. And as always, Kapkun Krap.